Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to unpack a hidden reality that affects absolutely every single one of us. We're looking at the death of sleep. Specifically, why your totally natural biological need for rest has somehow become the modern economy's biggest obstacle. We're going to dive into how the very concept of night has been transformed from a time of recovery into a highly profitable frontier. So, I want you to picture a scenario that's probably way too familiar. Have you ever found yourself staring at your phone at 3 a.m.? Your eyes are literally burning, your brain is buzzing, and you are wondering why on earth you are still awake. You're completely exhausted, right? You know you have work in exactly 4 hours, but you just can't stop scrolling. When this happens, who do you blame? Well, most of us instantly blame ourselves. Okay, let's actually dive into this. We almost always view this as a personal failing. A simple lack of discipline, or we just brush it off by saying, oh, I'm a natural night owl. But what if your inability to rest isn't a personal failing at all? What we casually dismiss as a lack of discipline is actually an engineered feature of a highly sophisticated system designed to colonize the last 8 hours of your day. Your biology has quite literally been hijacked for profit. Section 1. Colonizing the night. Let's see how a simple technological shift grew into the total colonization of our downtime. Think about it. For most of human history, sleep was the one part of our lives that corporations just couldn't touch. Back in the pre-industrial era, when the sun went down, the economy essentially paused. Darkness literally meant a halt to production. But then, bam, the light bulb hits, extending the waking day and allowing work to push right into the evening. Fast forward to mobile screens, and now we have this always-on blue light infrastructure that completely shatters the barrier between day and night. And finally, we reach data harvesting, where even our attempts to sleep are tracked and monetized. Corporations have successfully turned the night into the absolute final frontier of consumption. We are currently living through a phenomenon perfectly described as the enshittification of the night. This is the ongoing, super deliberate process where our fundamental biological need for rest is disrupted and exploited by an always-on digital infrastructure. You might be thinking about the blue light coming off your screen right now and how we're told a simple night mode filter on our phones is going to fix everything. But honestly, that filter is just a comforting illusion, masking the real damage being done to our bodies. And that brings us to your circadian rhythm. It's your ancient biological clock, and it regulates absolutely everything from your hormones to your heart rate. But in the modern world, this rhythm isn't just being accidentally bumped by technology, it is actively being reverse engineered. The digital landscape is literally designed to disrupt this ancient clock, to keep us in a state of perpetual, continuous uptime. Section 2. The attention economy. To truly understand why our biology is under such heavy attack, we have to look directly at the underlying mechanics. This famous, point-blank quote from the co-founder of Netflix really just hits the nail on the head. Our biggest competitor is sleep. Not another streaming service, not a different app, but human rest. To a modern tech giant, unsleeping equals consuming. When you are asleep, you aren't seeing ads, you aren't engaging, and you certainly aren't generating data. Therefore, every single hour you spend resting is viewed simply as an hour of lost revenue. So how do they actually beat their biggest competitor? It's a 4-step loop. Step 1, they trigger engagement through highly specific platform design. Step 2, this activates intense dopamine loops in your brain. Step 3, this artificial stimulation directly delays your biological shutdown phase. You just stay awake a little bit longer. And finally, step 4, that extra waking time maximizes your data generation and their ad revenue. It is an engineered failure for your brain. They've essentially created a nightmare scenario to ensure you keep scrolling. But the invasion goes way deeper than mindless 3 a.m. scrolling. Let's look at Section 3, the sleep tech irony. Millions of us now wear trackers on our wrists or use apps on our nightstands to supposedly optimize our sleep. But consider what we're actually doing here. We're participating in a massive privacy trade-off. We are handing over our most incredibly intimate biological data. We're talking about our heart rate variability, our respiratory patterns throughout the night, and even the literal sounds we make while we're unconscious. And we are handing it all over to the sleep tech industry. It is just the ultimate modern irony. The devices engineered to keep us awake and harvest our data are the exact same ones we use to try and fix the problem. Our solution? We literally pay these tech companies for a premium dashboard just to explain to us why we're too tired to function today. We are using the very same glowing rectangles that kept us up until dawn to track exactly how miserably they ruined our night. So, the crucial takeaway here is that we are experiencing what we can call the erosion of biological autonomy. We are quite literally losing the ability to simply exist and rest on our own. We now feel like we need a digital intermediary just to tell us if our bodies recover during the night. We've essentially surrendered the most private, natural function of our biology to a screen. We're going to scale this back down to your own body now in Section 4, a biological crisis. Because the impact of all this isn't just a few extra yawns at the office. This systemic sleep deprivation is causing a full-scale biological crisis. When we don't sleep, our brains literally cannot perform the vital function of flushing out the metabolic waste that builds up during our waking hours. Because this natural cleaning process is being bypassed every single night, we are seeing a massive global surge in burnout. We're seeing unprecedented spikes in anxiety levels and a terrifying rise in metabolic disorders. All of this is happening because we've allowed our most basic need for rest to be turned into a harvestable commodity. The contrast is pretty stark. On one side, we have this corporate expectation, which mistakenly treats human beings like machines capable of 100% uptime, viewing us merely as harvestable commodities for data and attention. But then we have the human reality. The inescapable truth is that our biology literally requires a vital shutdown phase just to survive and function properly. We simply cannot out-engineer thousands of years of evolution, no matter how engaging an app might be. So, I want to leave you with this final question. Will you let a shareholder own your sleep? The next time you find yourself caught in that endless 3 a.m. scrolling loop, I want you to remember this explainer. Remember that you aren't failing at sleep. You are simply being targeted by a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure designed to make sure you never truly rest. Reclaiming your rest starts with realizing your sleep belongs to you, not a tech giant's bottom line. So tonight, do your biology a favor and just try putting the phone in another room.